The distant planet of Talara was a place of extremes. Jagged mountains scraped the skies, and the winds carried a scent of minerals and ozone. Few humans dared to come here. It was a world ruled by the Talari, a proud and highly intelligent species whose technology was centuries ahead of anything Earth had. Most human explorers who landed here quickly learned to keep their distance, for the Talari were not welcoming to strangers. Alex adjusted the straps on his engineering pack as he trudged across the rocky plain. He had been sent to Talara as part of a small human exploration team tasked with repairing and studying abandoned outposts along the border regions. Today, however, was different. His sensors had picked up unusual energy signatures nearby, ones that didn't match the abandoned tech. His curiosity, which had gotten him into trouble more than once, pulled him toward the source. The scene that awaited him was chaotic. A small squad of Talari royal guards was fending off a group of mercenaries, heavily armed, fast-moving, and clearly organized. At the center of the skirmish was a figure in gleaming armor, moving with precision and speed that was almost superhuman. Alex realized with a start that it was the Talari princess, Lyra herself. Her armor, however, was damaged. Sparks flew from exposed circuits, and smoke curled from a cracked energy shield. She was fighting fiercely, but each strike she blocked or parried seemed to drain her further. Without thinking, Alex ran toward them. His human companions had warned him about Talara's dangers, about getting too close to royal matters. But something in him, some instinct he could not ignore, made him act. He slid behind a boulder just as a mercenary's energy blade slashed through the air where he had been moments before. Pulling out his engineering tools, he assessed the situation quickly. The princess's armor wasn't just scratched. Several of its energy conduits were misfiring, her shield generator flickered, and her mobility system was partially offline. A few more strikes like that and she could be seriously injured, or worse. "Princess?" Alex shouted, surprising even himself. He sprinted out of cover, dodging another swing of a plasma lance, and threw a compact energy stabilizer onto her armor. Sparks shot upward, but the device latched onto her suit's circuitry. Lyra's head turned sharply, and for a moment her striking violet eyes met his. There was a flicker of surprise, almost disbelief, before she focused back on the battle. Alex didn't wait for gratitude. He started working, unscrewing damaged panels, rerouting conduits with human ingenuity, and using makeshift stabilizers to replace malfunctioning components. He had studied Talari technology from afar, but nothing prepared him for seeing it in person, let alone repairing it under fire. His hands moved with practiced precision, guided by instinct and determination. Lyra's guards finally noticed him and shouted in alarm, but he ignored them. The mercenaries pressed their attack, and the human engineer realized he had only moments before he would be in serious danger. Yet every time he fixed a component, the princess's armor became stronger, her movements faster and more fluid. By the time the first wave of mercenaries had been repelled, Alex had completed major repairs. He had even modified a few circuits, increasing the efficiency of the suit's energy shield and enhancing her agility. Lyra moved with renewed power, deflecting attacks and countering with precision that stunned her opponents. When the skirmish ended, the mercenaries retreated, clearly surprised by the sudden strength of the princess. Lyra lowered her weapon and surveyed the battlefield. Her armor was still smoking in places, but it functioned better than before. She looked at Alex, and for the first time her expression softened. "You repaired this," she said, her voice carrying a mixture of astonishment and suspicion. "I did," Alex replied simply, wiping sweat and grime from his face. "I didn't have much choice. I couldn't just watch you get hurt." Lyra's violet eyes studied him carefully. Humans were rare here, and most of the ones she had seen were cautious, weak, or completely unprepared for Talara's challenges. Yet this human had not only survived but had enhanced her gear in ways her own engineers might not have imagined. "You have skill," she said finally, "and courage. That is unusual for your kind." Alex shrugged, feeling a mixture of pride and nervousness. "I've learned to fix things that shouldn't be fixable," he said, "and I've learned to think fast when it matters." There was a long silence. Lyra's guards watched warily, unsure of how the princess would respond. Lyra finally gestured for Alex to follow her. "Come," she said. "We need to return to the palace. There are questions you will need to answer." Alex followed, curiosity and tension rising with each step. The journey to the palace was not easy. Talara's terrain was treacherous, and the remnants of the mercenary attack left smoldering craters and debris. Yet Alex found himself enjoying the challenge. His mind raced with possibilities, thinking of ways to improve defenses, repair systems, and perhaps even make life easier for the princess and her guards. When they arrived at the palace, Alex was struck by its beauty. Towering spires of shimmering crystal reflected the pale light of Talara's sun. Advanced energy shields surrounded the structure, but their design blended seamlessly with the organic curves of the palace walls. Lyra led him to a private chamber where she gestured for him to sit. "You have done something extraordinary," she said quietly, pacing before him. "Not many humans, or Talari for that matter, would dare to repair the armor of a royal under attack. You could have been killed or worse." "I didn't do it for recognition," Alex said honestly. "I did it because it was the right thing, and because I didn't want to see you get hurt." Lyra stopped pacing. "You risked yourself for me," she said. Her voice carried a hint of admiration. "That is rare, very rare." Alex felt a flush of warmth at her words. "I've never met anyone like you either," he admitted. "I've seen a lot of technology, a lot of battles, but nothing like what you faced today. You're incredible." Lyra's expression softened further and she approached him. "You are also different. You see possibilities where others see limitations. You improvise, you create, and you act. That is valuable. That is necessary." Alex blinked, unsure how to respond. He had expected thanks, maybe a medal, but this intensity, this admiration from an alien princess, was something else entirely. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the palace. Alex and Lyra jumped to their feet. Guards ran past them, shouting orders. "Another attack?" Alex asked. Lyra nodded. "The mercenaries will not give up easily. They have already sent reinforcements. They underestimate you, perhaps because you are human, but they will learn quickly that is a mistake." Alex felt a rush of adrenaline. He glanced at the repaired armor now stored safely in the chamber. "If they come, I'll fight," he said, his voice steady. "I don't have your skills, but I can think fast. I can adapt." Lyra looked at him, her eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. "Adaptability is admirable," she said. "You may have more potential than I first realized." The hours passed, and Alex worked alongside the Talari engineers, helping reinforce the palace defenses and optimizing their energy grids. His human knowledge combined with Talari technology created solutions that surprised even the seasoned Talari engineers. By the time the sun dipped below the jagged horizon, casting long shadows over the crystalline palace, Lyra returned to him. She stood silently for a moment, then said, "You have proven yourself today, not just with your hands but with your courage, your intelligence, and your heart." Alex swallowed, unsure what to say. Compliments from royalty were rare, to say the least. Lyra stepped closer, her expression serious. "There is a ceremony in our culture for those who demonstrate exceptional valor and ingenuity. Usually, it is reserved for Talari of the highest rank, but you human have earned a place among them." Alex's eyes widened. "A ceremony?" "For me, yes," Lyra said. "You have shown qualities that are respected, even revered. If you choose, you will stand not as a guest but as someone acknowledged by my people. You may even share a bond with me, a bond of trust, honor, and partnership." Alex felt a mixture of awe and disbelief. Humans rarely received recognition of this kind, especially not from an alien princess. His mind raced, imagining the possibilities, the challenges, and the responsibilities that would come with such a bond. Before he could speak, Lyra turned and gestured toward the repaired armor. "Rest now," she said. "Tomorrow we will decide the formalities, but know this, your actions have changed the course of more than one life, including mine." As Alex lay on a simple cot in the chamber, his thoughts whirled. He had come to Talara as an engineer, a fixer of broken things, a human trying to survive in an alien world. But today, he had done more than repair technology. He had proven that courage, creativity, and the human spirit could stand alongside the might of the Talari. And somehow, in a way he had never imagined, he had earned the attention and respect of a princess. Outside, the wind howled across the jagged mountains, carrying the faint scent of ozone and danger. But inside, for the first time since arriving on this harsh world, Alex felt a spark of something more: hope, recognition, and the beginnings of a bond that might just change both human and Talari history. And so, as the stars of Talara began to twinkle in the alien night sky, Alex drifted into a restless sleep, unaware that tomorrow would bring challenges, choices, and a declaration that would shock both human and Talari alike. The morning sun of Talara rose over the jagged crystal, spires casting long, sharp shadows across the palace grounds. Alex woke to the soft hum of energy fields and the distant sound of Talari soldiers training. The events of the previous day were still vivid in his mind: the skirmish, the adrenaline, and most of all, the eyes of the princess as she observed him repairing her armor under fire. As he stretched and prepared to meet her, he could feel a strange mix of excitement and anxiety. Today was no longer just another day of exploration or repair. Today, he would face the formalities Lyra had mentioned, and perhaps learn what it truly meant to stand beside a Talari princess. Lyra entered the chamber without knocking, her violet eyes bright and alert. She was dressed in a flowing ceremonial robe, a symbol of her royal status, but her posture was casual enough to suggest she trusted him. "You are ready," she said simply. "I think so," Alex replied, his voice steady despite the flutter in his chest. "What exactly are we doing today?" She gave a faint smile. "You will see. Come." They walked through the palace, passing halls filled with intricate technology and artwork that merged form and function in ways Alex could barely comprehend. Guards and engineers nodded at him as they passed, their expressions a mixture of respect and curiosity. It was clear that his actions from yesterday had not gone unnoticed. Outside, in the palace courtyard, a small gathering had formed. Talari nobles and high-ranking officers stood in neat formation, their attention fixed on the central platform. At the center, Lyra raised her hand, and the murmurs hushed instantly. "This ceremony," Lyra began, her voice carrying across the courtyard, "is normally reserved for those who demonstrate extraordinary valor and intellect. Today, we recognize someone from outside our people who has done both. Someone who has shown courage, ingenuity, and honor that is rare, even among the Talari." Alex stepped forward, unsure of what to do with his hands or where to look. He was acutely aware of the hundreds of eyes upon him, the weight of their scrutiny pressing against his shoulders. Lyra continued, "This human, Alex, repaired my armor when I was in danger. He improved it beyond its original design, allowing me to survive and fight more effectively than I could have imagined. He risked his life for me, without hesitation, without reward, simply because he did what he knew was right." The crowd was silent for a moment, processing her words. Then, a ripple of whispers ran through the assembly. For a human to receive such recognition was unheard of. Even the most skilled Talari engineers rarely received public acknowledgement, let alone someone from another species. Alex felt a flush of warmth and embarrassment. He had not expected praise, let alone a public ceremony. He shifted slightly, focusing on Lyra's gaze, which held an intensity that made him feel both scrutinized and understood. Lyra stepped closer to him. In Talari culture, there is a bond called the chosen consort. It is not just symbolic, it represents trust, respect, and the merging of two lives in purpose and duty. Today I declare you, Alex, as my chosen consort. This is a rare honor, one never before given to a human. The words hit him like a shockwave. His mind struggled to process the meaning, the weight, and the implications. Me, he managed to say, his voice barely above a whisper. Yes, you, Lyra said, her eyes softening. You have shown qualities that many Talari have never demonstrated. Courage, intelligence, creativity, and loyalty. I choose you. The crowd erupted in murmurs again, some in disbelief, others in admiration. Alex felt a mixture of pride and nervousness. He had always believed in human ingenuity, in the ability to solve problems and adapt. But to be recognized like this by an alien princess, it was beyond anything he had imagined. Lyra extended her hand, and Alex hesitated only for a moment before taking it. The touch was firm, warm, and carried a silent understanding. In that moment, Alex realized that this bond was not just ceremonial. It was a connection forged through action, trust, and shared danger. The ceremony continued with the exchange of symbols. Lyra presented Alex with a small talisman, crafted from Talara crystal and infused with energy circuits. This symbolizes your role, your honor, and our bond, she explained. It will guide and protect you as it guides and protects me. Alex examined the talisman carefully. The design was complex, a mix of crystalline patterns and circuitry that seemed almost alive. It's incredible, he said. I'll do my best to honor it. You already have, Lyra replied. By repairing my gear, by facing danger without fear, and by thinking beyond what is possible, you have proven yourself. The rest is just formality. After the ceremony, Lyra led Alex through the palace, showing him the improvements they would make together. His human perspective and problem-solving approach offered fresh insights to the Talari engineers. Together, they redesigned sections of the palace's energy grids, enhanced defense systems, and even improved the personal gear of the royal guards. Throughout the day, Alex began to notice something remarkable. The Talari, often seen as aloof and proud, treated him not just with respect, but with curiosity and cautious admiration. His ideas, once considered unconventional, were now being tested and implemented. Human creativity had earned a place in a society that valued perfection and logic above all else. Lyra observed quietly, occasionally giving subtle nods of approval. There was a trust growing between them, a silent understanding that their combined skills could achieve what neither could accomplish alone. As the day drew to a close, a sudden alert sounded across the palace. Alex's heart sank. Mercenary scouts were approaching again, faster and more numerous than before. Lyra's expression was calm, but her eyes sharpened with determination. "We will face them together," she said. "Your tactics, your improvisation, and your courage will be as crucial as your engineering skills. Are you ready?" Alex nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. "Yes, let's do this." The battle was intense. The mercenaries struck in waves, using coordinated attacks and advanced weaponry. Alex deployed improvised energy traps and rerouted defensive systems in real time, giving the Talari an unexpected advantage. Lyra, her armor enhanced by the modifications he had made, moved with speed and precision that left the mercenaries struggling to keep up. Alex realized something remarkable during the fight. His human ingenuity, combined with Lyra's skill and the Talari technology, created a synergy that even the enemy could not anticipate. They were no longer two separate forces. They were a team, each complementing the other, each pushing the limits of what was possible. By the end of the battle, the mercenaries were in full retreat. The palace guards cheered, and the surviving nobles looked on in awe. Alex stood beside Lyra, exhausted but exhilarated. She looked at him, her expression unreadable for a moment, and then a small smile curved her lips. "You have done it," she said. "Not just repaired my gear, not just survived, but changed the outcome entirely. I am proud of you, Alex." He shook his head, smiling tiredly. "I couldn't have done it without you. Your skill, your courage, it makes a difference." Lyra took a step closer, her eyes meeting his. "And yet, you did more than I could have imagined. Today, you showed that humans are not just clever but capable of greatness beyond expectation. You have earned your place beside me in all ways that matter." The sun set over Talara, casting the palace in a golden glow. Alex and Lyra stood together, surveying the horizon. The wind carried the scent of minerals and ozone, but it no longer felt hostile. Instead, it seemed to hum with possibility, with the potential for new alliances, new adventures, and a bond that transcended species. Alex realized, as he looked at the princess and felt the weight of the talisman in his hand, that his life had changed forever. He had arrived on Talara as an engineer, a fixer of broken machines, but he had become something more, a trusted partner, a strategist, and the chosen consort of an alien princess. And as night fell, the stars of Talara twinkled in patterns he had never seen before, echoing the uncharted path that lay ahead. A path of discovery, challenge, and partnership that would test every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of human ingenuity he possessed. But Alex was ready. He had repaired more than armor. He had proven the human spirit, forged a bond across the stars, and begun a story that neither he nor Talara would ever forget. The mercenaries might return, and challenges would continue. But for now, in this moment of triumph and recognition, Alex felt the profound truth of what he had always believed. Humans were capable of greatness, even among the stars, even in worlds that seemed beyond reach. And by the side of Princess Lyra, he would face whatever came next, not just as an engineer, not just as a human, but as something extraordinary.